everybody, welcome to another episode of Cannabis Tech Talks. You're chopping it up with Chuck. I'm the editor-in-chief with Cannabis and Tech Today. We are brought to you by our sponsors, Polyscience and Summit Research, and we're actually coming to you from MJBiz 2022 in Las Vegas. We always bring you the goods, and today is no different. We are going to talk about pre-rolls. Everybody loves pre-rolls, and we have a representative from one of the coolest companies in the pre-roll space. I am pleased to introduce Cameron Koger from STM Canna. What's up, Cameron?
Yeah, great to be here.
It's great to have you here, man.
Yeah,
It's so excited. I feel like I know you.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It does feel that way.
Yeah, a little bit. So talk to us about what's going on. What's STM doing here at MJBiz?
Yeah, absolutely. So we do pre-roll machines, commercial grinders. Our big thing is automation, right?
Yeah.
Pre-roll automation. So the biggest thing with pre-rolls, obviously really popular right now, you really want to kind of reduce your labor costs and everything, right? So our whole idea is let's make really quality pre-rolls, have it as easy as possible. And so that's, pretty much what we're doing here.
Yeah, and why is it that, because I've heard this before, why are pre-rolls so labor intensive? Like, it just seems like they're one of those things that it's a pain in the ass to make them, make them right.
Well, think about like if you're rolling a pre-roll for yourself or like a joint for yourself,
and
right?
I'm terrible at that.
Honestly, same. And it's just funny because I work for a pre-roll company.
I am a shitty
I've always been
pre-roller.
a better at rolling blunts, but that's the thing, right? It's really difficult to roll a joint, make it a really good quality joint. So there's all these machines that are fully automated. You press a button and it spits them out, but you can kind of tell that they're made that way.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to go and buy a joint that looks like it was made in a machine. You want something that seems like it's handmade. So with our machines, we really try to use that to our advantage.
Yeah.
So there's still a little bit of element of, hand involvement, but it's as automated as possible while still having that. So you really have control over exactly the final product. So it comes across more, connoisseur type artisanal joint.
Yeah.
Versus just your like cookie cutter, every single joint looks exactly the same.
Yeah, and so when you think of some things, like if I think of like cigars, like they say like hand-rolled cigars, you know what I mean? Like that means it's more premium, but when it comes to pre-rolls, that's not necessarily the case, right? Because you were talking about quality, consistency, and of course labor costs.
So like you said, you're not great at rolling joints, right?
Yeah.
If I rolled a joint and you rolled a joint, they'd be totally different. So the beauty of it is you can get it to exactly how you want it, as if like, okay, you are amazing at rolling joints, this is what you want it to look like, but then let's reproduce that every time. So instead of having 20 people who all close the joint differently, you have, one or two people that are running the machines that can do that and still produce the same results where it has that like quality, like hand-rolled kind of effect. Yeah.
And so what's STM's background? Like, how did STM get into the cannabis space?
Yeah, great question. So we started in 2017. Our CEO, Jason, he's actually an engineer that comes from the automotive racing industry.
Yeah.
And he actually started with a rosin press. So funny enough, like we weren't doing anything with pre-rolls at first. For the first year or so, that's all we did, rosin press. And he kind of realized there was a gap in the industry. At the time, there's a lot more pre-roll machines now, but at the time, there really weren't a lot. There was basically one option, and that was it. So he realized there was a need in the market and decided to pivot to a pre-roll machine, which is where we launched the Rocket Box, which is kind of our bread and butter of the whole operation.
Flagship, if you will.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. So that was pretty much it. Once we did the Rocket Box and realized that there was a need and a want for it, we started doing our Revolution, which is our grinder. Now we have a joint weighing machine, a joint closing machine. So really trying to take the whole system. We call it a modular system where it's still automated, but you move from machine to machine. So if you're starting out small, like a mom and pop kind of shop, you can get our smaller machine and work your way up. And as you scale and as you keep selling more and more pre-rolls, you have the ability to just add on and keep scaling with your business.
Nice. That seems to make sense. And by the way, that rosin press was maybe a little ahead of its time, because right now that's sort of the biggest thing, especially in, infused pre-rolls and gummies and stuff. I'm seeing everything like, live rosin, everything like that. So
it's such a niche market at the time that I think it was ahead of its time. Yeah. We've had people ask about it, and so maybe it'll make another appearance,
comeback,
but
right?
yeah, we'll see.
The re-release of, of the rosin press. So how do you guys sell your products? Is it direct sales? Do people come to you? Do you have distributors? How's
so we do both. I'm the director of sales, so I run the direct side sales department. But we also have a lot of channel partners. We work with a lot of distributors in the U.S. and Canada. We have machines in different countries as well, but our main focus is U.S. and Canada for sure.
Okay. But you do have some I don't know, you've got some names that like resonate. You know what I mean? Like you mentioned Rocketbox. Like I feel like if that's not trademarked, it should be. And
I think it is.
I think it
Hopefully.
is. Okay, good.
But
But yeah, I mean, people know what the Rocketbox is. Anybody who's in the industry that does pre-rolls, they know about the Rocketbox, and that is a cool thing to gain that kind of brand recognition where, you know what I mean? You don't just start out with that, right? You start out, nobody's heard of
Definitely
STM.
Took some time, obviously at first, first launching it, we have, our competitors that everyone knows the name of. And at the time, we were the little guys, right? And now, 5 years later, it's definitely a different story. So, I've been with the company for 3 years and it's been really cool to kind of see how that evolves.
Yeah.
So every time we come to MJBizCon, it's like a whole different thing. It's like last year was way different from now. Now it's like people just come directly to our booth and are like, oh yeah, I've heard of your machine, I want to check it out. But like in the past, it was, really trying to reel people in and get our name out there.
Yeah.
So.
I went by the STM booth yesterday and it looked like there was a party going on there. Like there was so many people. It was a double decker. There was people upstairs. Like I was like, you could tell that they was buzzing. So there's obviously a lot of interest.
Yeah, and honestly, the way our booth is designed now, we have our closing machine, which closes the joints. And it's right on the corner and there's just like a shitload of joints just sitting there. So everyone stops by and is like, oh, can I take one of these joints? I was like, yeah, you can take it. It's CBD, but like, go for it. It's probably not going to taste as good, but yeah, of course.
Yeah. So, so I want to talk about last year. I remember STM debuted the Atomic Closer. Mm-hmm. So, how's that doing? And is that becoming the new darling next to the Rocketbox?
Yeah, if not more. I mean, honestly, I think that was something that was missing on the market was a machine that just closed joints by itself. Right now it's like you have these $300,000 machines that do everything. From the grind to the pack to the close, but the problem is there wasn't a standalone closer.
Yeah.
So we did unveil it last year at MJBizCon, which is in October, and then we officially launched it in February. And yeah, I mean, there's a huge demand on the market for that. So, what's great is you can use it with the rest of our system, or you can use, if you're using a different pre-roll machine, you can still use that and then use the closer in addition to it. So it's really versatile,
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that's going really well. And we also released a weighing machine at the same time. And that's pretty much our goal. Like I said, our CEO, he's the engineer, he designs everything. We manufacture everything.
What's that guy's name?
In Spokane, Washington.
Jason Dewicki?
Yep, that's his name.
All right. Yeah, I've heard of that guy. He's smart.
Yeah.
I
feel like you guys have maybe talked before.
Yes. I've definitely talked to Jason. And no, I think that's just really cool that you didn't just make the Rocketbox and then stop. You're like, all right, what's the next thing we can do?
Our goal is each year, 2 to 3 machines hitting the market is the goal each year. We want to really keep adding to that line. And it's like anything that we can figure out to make it easier for the manufacturer to reduce labor, we're just going to keep adding to that. And we'll make sure that all the machines work together so it's not like, oh, I need a whole new system, right? You just add on one thing to help with this. So whatever bottlenecks you're having with your pre-rolls, all you got to do is just, oh, this is the machine that'll fix that. So you grab that. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. So I saw a quote on the side of the STM booth upstairs, and it was, I think, Lion Labs. Mm-hmm. And can you tell the audience about them and what they're making like award-winning pre-rolls, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they're based in Michigan. They won the
Cannabis Cup, I think.
Cannabis Cup for infused joints. Actually, it was just pre-rolls in general. They won the gold cup for that, but they do infused joints. And yeah, they use our mini Rocketbox, which is our smaller pre-roll machine, and they use that with the closing machine. And they pretty much said that they went from 9 employees to 4, doing 10,000 infused pre-rolls a day.
Wow.
Which if you talk to anyone that makes pre-rolls, you need like 20 25 people usually to do those numbers. I mean, you're sitting there
to me.
hand closing 300 joints an hour.
Yeah,
right.
It seems crazy.
Oh, it's wild. I mean, some of our customers used to have like 50 employees just closing joints, and it's like, I mean, that's an entire company.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just on pre-rolls. So yeah, the idea is, we're not obviously like taking jobs away. It's just, put them in an area that's going to be more beneficial and let the machine do the rest.
Yeah. No, that's pretty cool. So you mentioned that there is more stuff coming down the pike. Mm-hmm. Is there anything that you guys are excited about, or are you debuting anything this year?
Yeah, actually. So this year we just debuted our cone loading machine. So basically, our trays that fit in the weighing machine, the closing machine, they hold 72 joints. And if you're familiar with like a box of cones, it comes in a stack, right?
Yeah.
And so when you load a tray with cones, you have to kind of go one by one, fill all 72 holes one by one. But this machine actually drops all 72 at the same time. So you load your stack in, and it's like a stack of 8. Hit a button, boom, loads the tray. Take out the tray, put in another tray, hit a button, it loads that. So we're just unveiling that this year, so at this show, and that'll be ready to hit the market in about 12 weeks. So
Okay.
So not officially selling it yet, and I think a few people are upset about that.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely some demand for it, so I'm excited, in a few weeks to really start.
It's crazy that every step of the pre-roll process is just this kind of sort of tedious, monotonous, labor-intensive grind.
Right.
Pun intended.
And nice, very nice. That's what you did there. Yeah, it's different for everyone too. It's not like every single pre-roll company is like, oh, this is the problem that we have. It's like there's always different areas that can be improved. So, like I said, our goal is just make each step as easy as possible, and hey, whatever step you're having an issue with, we'll help you out with it.
Yeah. And why do you think pre-rolls are so big?
I think
because we're shitty rollers, and
I think that is a big part of it. Yeah, like I will probably never roll a joint again just because I can go buy them.
When I do,
I'm
it's an embarrassment.
A joint that's already pre-rolled anyway. You know what I mean? But honestly, I think we saw a huge spike during COVID because like dog walkers got really popular, smaller joints, and it's like. During that time, I can't sit with 10 of my friends and smoke a joint because we're all going to get sick and die. You know what I mean? So now you have these little joints that, why they're called dog walkers. I can take my dog for a 10-minute walk, smoke this little joint to myself, and be good. So I think it's a little column A, a little column B, a little not wanting to have to roll, but also just the convenience.
Yeah.
Think about like buying flour and carrying around like a bowl and trying to pack it all the time. Like you just
grinder,
have this little package.
You gotta have a grinder on you.
Exactly,
you
repack it. No, you just take your joint
out,
light it, and you're good to go.
Changing your own oil. I probably could, but why? I could
Right.
pay someone to do it.
It is really easy. I'd recommend it? Yeah.
I got a Tesla. I don't even have oil. There's no oil.
But basically, now after COVID, we're seeing more people, smoking together and stuff.
Yeah.
So now it is more of a social thing, and that's part of the fun too. It's like you stand in a group and pass around the joint.
Yeah, I do like the dog walkers. I think it's a brilliant invention. I remember the first time I saw them, I was like, this is great because I can't smoke a whole joint by myself. And then you got to put it out.
You probably can, but...
No, I probably could. Yeah. But I generally, I tap out, about halfway through. But no, I think it's a great idea. Like you said, perfect for you going walk the dog, and you guys can do dog walkers in the STM.
Yeah, we pretty much do every size. Dog walkers, half gram, 0.75, 1 gram.
You do blunts?
We go up to 1.5. We do work with blunt cones.
Okay.
But the beauty of us manufacturing all our machines ourselves.
Yeah.
is we can pretty much design anything custom. So we've actually had a lot of people come up to us and say, hey, I do this really weird specific size nobody else can do. Can you guys do that? And it's like, currently we don't, but we can design that, we can make that. So we're really trying to think outside of the box and say, hey, look, here are the industry standard sizes, we can do all these, but if you're doing something crazy and you want, because, everyone wants to stand out, right? The pre-roll market is huge. It's fire. There's a lot of competitors.
Yeah.
So having something to really differentiate yourself is important. And our idea is, let's help you get there. So, we'll work directly with those people and say, all right, let's figure out a way to make that work, basically.
And so you guys sell to, what is it, like mom and pops, mid-size? You sell into the big, who's your customer?
Everything, yeah, everything. So, mom and pop shops, like we see a lot of that in Oklahoma. Oklahoma is a lot easier to get a license, less regulations. So you see a lot of just like dispensaries that, roll joints in their back room, and they do, a couple hundred a week, a couple hundred a day. And then all the way up to MSOs that are in, 10 states doing millions of joints a month, and like I said, that's the beauty of our modular system. It's really designed to scale. So you can start small, and then, hey, your brand takes off. Hey, we're right there with you to help you get to that. Whatever numbers you want to hit, we'll get you there.
We just had Huber was here. The guys that do the chilling, the chillers, and they're like big. They're like a behemoth in the industry. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that they do is, and this seems pretty rare, is they have 24/7 customer service, right? Because if your chiller goes down, like you're screwed, right? And you don't want to send it back and be out of commission for 2 weeks, 3 weeks,
nobody
stuff
wants
like
to be
that.
down at all. Yeah.
So talk about, do you guys like service after the sale? Are you guys looking out for the clients afterwards, or is it kind of like, hey, you sell it and you're on your own? There you go.
Right. Yeah, and you do see a lot of that, but no, I mean, we're based in Spokane, Washington. We really pride ourselves on that ongoing support. So if you need anything, like most of our machines come with some kind of training, whether it's virtual training, on-site training at the facility. But we have a whole team that's just dedicated to supporting the customer. So
that's big.
If you have something go down, we'll fix it right away, if anything like that. But beyond that, it's, hey, I'm doing this different size joint. Can you help me dial in the weights? Things like that. We really pride ourselves on that ongoing support. And again, because we're based in Spokane, Washington, it's not like you have to wait for parts to come from China or somewhere overseas. It's like literally, we can overnight you something if you need it. And in most cases, they don't. Because our machines come with warranties and everything. So everything's pretty much covered.
I think the best brands out there, they have really good customer service. If you think about it, across the whole spectrum, like they're just like, no bullshit. If you need help, we're here to help you. And so I think that's a good thing for STM.
Definitely, yeah. And we're honestly just continuing to grow that part of it as well. So we have a great team right now.
Yeah.
And we just keep adding to it because, again, like you said, you don't want to be down for 30 minutes, an hour.
Right.
Some of these other machines out there, these giant $300,000 machines, they literally say you have to have a maintenance tech on site in case it goes down. And it's like, all right, so I have 6 employees. I'm going to hire someone just to like watch this machine in case it breaks. Like, so
that's crazy. Well, listen, why don't you let the audience know where they can get a hold of you if they're interested in finding out about STM and the pre-roll automation technology that you've got there. Perfect opportunity for a shout out and drum up some business.
Absolutely, yeah. So you can go to stmcanna.com. We have a form on there to submit some stuff, and then you can always chat with any of our reps at the same time. Basically, we have machines ready to ship within about 2 to 3 weeks. So as soon as you're ready to get started, you just reach out and we'll get you going.
Nice.
Like I said, production's always going. So at the moment, we don't plan on having longer lead times. I'm sure after this show we're gonna be out of some stock, but we'll just keep cranking them out. So stmcanna.com. You can give me a call anytime as well. 509-204-3206. And
the Mike Jones,
right place,
man. You gave your phone number. That's awesome.
That's right, yeah.
Yes, that's brilliant. Well, dude, Cam, it's been a pleasure. I definitely am going to go up there and check out and see what you guys got going on. The booth was buzzing yesterday. It looked like a freaking, seriously, like a party going on there.
Oh, we're having a good time.
Yeah. How can you not? You work in cannabis, you're doing pre-rolls, and you work for a cool company.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, that's
well,
awesome.
Thank you for having me, Chuck.
Yeah. It's my pleasure, dude. I feel like we've talked before, but anyways.
Well, I'm sure we'll talk again.
For those of you tuning in at home, if you like this episode, go ahead and hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe, leave a comment, and again, we have to give a shout out to our sponsor, Polyscience, because without them, we couldn't bring you this great content. Also, Summit Research for letting us kick it in their booth, and really want to thank Cam, STM Canna, and for you guys that tuned in, make sure you tune in next time. You've been chopping it up with Chuck. I'm the editor-in-chief of Cannabis Tech Today. We'll see you next time.
Hey, hello, I'm Tommy Chong from Cheech and Chong. Wait, you didn't think people would know who I am? Durachill. This is Durachill. This is Durachill. This is Durachill. No, hey, I don't talk like that. You want me to sell this? Buy it. Try Durachill or else. If you want something really nice in your laboratory, buy Durachill. You can't go wrong.